Muy buenas tardes a todas y a todos. Traigo el saludo desde la región Asia-Américas para todos los participantes que hoy me acompañan aquí. Realmente, las cooperativas frente a la desigualdad en el mundo es un tema clave hoy para el desarrollo. Es el tema central. La desigualdad se ha establecido como uno de los mayores desafíos de la humanidad para lograr el desarrollo sostenible. No era un objetivo explícito en los objetivos del desarrollo del milenio y fue incorporado como tal recién en la Agenda 2030, tras la evidencia de las relaciones entre la desigualdad y otros desafíos como el hambre, la pobreza, el cuidado del ambiente, entre otros. La desigualdad es una tarea en sí misma que la humanidad debe abordar. Y más que nadie las cooperativas, que contamos con la igualdad y la equidad como valores fundamentales de nuestro movimiento. Un mundo más cooperativo, como hemos acuñado en las últimas cumbres de cooperativas de las Américas, es un mundo más igualitario. La realidad, sin embargo, nos golpea con dureza. Pertenezco, y muchos de ustedes pertenecen, al continente más desigual en este momento. A pesar de algunos años de avance, la situación hoy presenta graves señales de deterioro, y no solo entre países de pobreza, sino entre países, algunos de ellos que han logrado avanzar en la escala del crecimiento. La desigualdad ha crecido en regiones y países desarrollados, incluidos en América del Norte, Australia y Escandinavia. Un estudio reciente de Oct.15 señala que hoy menos de 30 personas en el mundo poseen la misma riqueza de 3.800 millones de personas. Por otra parte, más de la cuarta parte de todos los adultos que trabajan en el planeta son pobres. En 2017, el 82% de toda la riqueza generada ese año fue para el 1% de la población más privilegiada económicamente. Lamentablemente, al analizar otras dimensiones de la desigualdad que van más allá de la riqueza o los ingresos, tales como las posibilidades de acceso a la salud, educación, el saneamiento, el empleo digno, entre otros, las conclusiones son bastante similares. En nuestra región, en las Américas, la desigualdad es señalada como el principal freno para el desarrollo sostenible de nuestros países. Según datos del Banco Mundial del 2016, 8 de 10 de los países más desiguales del mundo se encuentran en nuestras naciones: Haití, Honduras, Colombia, Brasil, Panamá, Chile, Costa Rica y México. En general, no se trata de países pobres o de pocos recursos. Mi país, el Uruguay, ha sido una de las excepciones a esta regla regional. En la última década, aún con crecimiento económico menor a muchos de los países de la región, no se incrementó la desigualdad. En nuestro caso, este proceso de crecimiento estuvo asociado, y para mí el concepto clave, a un conjunto de políticas que aseguraron procesos de redistribución de la riqueza y el acceso a amplios servicios de la población. Uruguay en los últimos 10 años ha tenido la intervención de los sectores de la sociedad civil y específicamente en el área del cooperativismo, ha codiseñado las políticas públicas. No hay dos lecturas de esta realidad. Combatir la desigualdad impone una definición política a favor de construir igualdad. En los países, esto supone políticas públicas profundas y políticas públicas con representación de la sociedad civil y con representación de los intereses gremiales. Una de las condiciones que se asocian a este proceso de construcción de igualdad es la organización social, y una de las mejores formas de desarrollar soluciones a las necesidades de las personas en perspectiva democrática lo han sido las cooperativas. Solo por colocar un ejemplo, la política de vivienda en Uruguay ha puesto un gran foco en el formato cooperativo, que ha permitido que más de 50.000 familias en una población de 3 millones de habitantes accedan a viviendas dignas con un grado muy importante de autogestión. Las cooperativas, en este caso, tanto en Uruguay como en América, nos hacemos cargo. Para frenar este aumento de las disparidades, es necesario adoptar políticas que empoderen a las personas, en especial a las de bajos ingresos, y promuevan la inclusión social, económica, cultural, territorial de todos y todas, independientemente de su género, raza o etnia. Como empresas de propiedad de los miembros, centradas en las personas y basadas en el marco ético de los principios y valores, las cooperativas somos las organizaciones mejor posicionadas para ser vehículos para promover la igualdad y un efectivo desarrollo sostenible. Pero como hemos acordado a nivel de las cooperativas de las Américas, la desigualdad y los demás desafíos del desarrollo no se neutralizan por la acción bien intencionada, pero aislada de cada cooperativa, que por supuesto deben ser eficaces y eficientes. Es necesaria la organización de las cooperativas a nivel nacional, regional y mundial, siguiendo nuestro sexto principio de cooperación entre cooperativas. Cooperación que debe proyectarse como un sistema entramado de relaciones económicas intercooperativas a todo nivel territorial, desde lo local a lo global. Pero así como la construcción de un sistema económico intercooperativo debe ser objeto de nuestra estrategia, también lo debe ser seguir profundizando la voz del cooperativismo mundial a través de la ASI, en los ámbitos intergubernamentales que definen las reglas del juego a nivel global. Y así lo ha desarrollado Cooperativa Las Américas a celebrar hace 15 días el marco de entendimiento con la OEA, en donde las cooperativas seremos un instrumento para tratar de reducir las desigualdades en aquellos sectores donde la inmigración ha sido maltratada y brutalmente destratada. Por lo tanto, trataremos de formar parte de un proyecto en la frontera de México para tratar de incentivar a través de la herramienta cooperativa la inclusión social y económica en el triángulo de los países de Honduras, Guatemala y El Salvador. Con las cooperativas asumiendo el liderazgo de la sociedad civil global en la interlocución con las naciones y las corporaciones globales y construyendo de manera simultánea alternativas de relaciones socioeconómicas centradas en el desarrollo de las personas, habrá un actor de carácter clave y además de carácter global, capaz de apoyar a las Naciones Unidas en la concreción de las reglas y proyectos que efectivamente nos lleven a un mundo menos desigual. Gracias.
Thank you for this introduction, Graciela. I have one question. You have worked for a really long time. Yeah. I have one question. You have worked for a really long time in the cooperative movement. You know the cooperative movement very well in Americas, but you know it also internationally. If you look with your experience, and we have so many cooperatives around the world in different branches. But what do you think, what can we do in all these organizations? Do you have some suggestions that all these organizations can work with for more equality around the world?
No tengo duda de que el cooperativismo es la herramienta clave para llevar adelante esa inserción de carácter económica, social y ambiental necesaria para lograr los resultados en reducir la desigualdad. Nosotros hemos sido históricamente aquellos que nos desarrollamos en los territorios. La inclusión financiera ha estado a cargo históricamente en las regiones y en aquellos territorios donde no están los sectores financieros del mundo capitalista habitual, ha estado en manos de las cooperativas. Las cooperativas han financiado aquellos sectores en los territorios y en las regiones que posiblemente no sean más cercanas a los centros urbanos. Hemos sido quienes hemos desarrollado la soberanía alimentaria, la agricultura familiar, el instrumento clave para lograr la asociación entre los agricultores. Hemos sido quienes hemos logrado abatir la desigualdad dando vivienda digna. Si no tenemos un hábitat que es diferente a tener vivienda digna, un hábitat, un lugar donde habitar digno, no podremos desarrollar otras cuestiones que frenan el desarrollo. Y me refiero allí a las condiciones de salud, me refiero a lo que han aportado las cooperativas de vivienda, que es el compromiso con la comunidad. Asumen responsabilidades que otras organizaciones no lo asumen. Hemos logrado conseguir con nuestro instrumento cooperativo abatir la desigualdad en el tema del consumo. En las épocas más complejas de América, las crisis financieras del 2001, 2002 y 2012, las cooperativas de consumo financiaron el consumo responsable de sus socios. Sus socios pudieron, y voy a ser grosera en la expresión, pudieron comer. Y creo que además hay un punto que es clave. Las cooperativas organizadas, las cooperativas fortaleciéndose gremialmente, han logrado posicionarse en varios países de América en lo que es el desarrollo de políticas públicas para fortalecer el sector cooperativo. Incidencia en las políticas públicas es un tema clave y me refiero, por ejemplo, al ejemplo de las cooperativas sociales. Las cooperativas sociales han logrado, sobre todo en la parte del Mercosur, Argentina, Uruguay, incorporar, incluir socialmente a un sector de la población, jefas y jefes de familias de hogares sumamente complejos como consecuencia de estas crisis, que no tenían trabajo y a través de la organización cooperativas sociales conformadas con el apoyo de políticas públicas han tratado y han logrado de conseguir un trabajo decente y una inclusión social. Yo creo que hemos sido durante toda la historia del cooperativismo un instrumento de inclusión social, solo que hoy los desafíos a los que se enfrenta el cooperativismo son fuertes, son duros. La globalización nos ha pegado y yo creo que nos tenemos que preparar para eso. Cuando además el idioma, lean todos los documentos internacionales, el idioma de las organizaciones internacionales Es el idioma que está en nuestro ADN y en nuestra genética, es la cooperación.
Thanks, Graciela. So our model working with and together with all people, but also working close together with the community municipalities in the welfare sector is one answer that the cooperative movement can do a lot. Thanks for that, Graciela. We will then go over to some case studies from the cooperative movement, and we will start with Mozambique and Natalino José Benete. You are welcome up on the scene, on the stage. Natalino is the regional coordinator of Mozambican Association for Promotion of Modern Cooperatives. And I know that you have a great experience from, mostly I think from the northern part of Mozambique. The floor is yours, Natalino. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I can't hear you. Thank you. Cooperative, if you are a cooperator, you have to be active. Yeah. So my name is Natalino Barnetti. I come from Mozambique. I represent the Mozambican Association for Promotion of Modern Cooperatives. I am also a cooperator. I belong to a cooperative of agronomists in Mozambique. So I will be here presenting you a project, a case study based on a project that we are implementing in Mozambique. So as you know, it is about promoting agribusiness cooperatives to ending extreme poverty and inequalities in Mozambique. So the case of Nampula, northern Mozambique. Nampula is the third province, the biggest province in Mozambique, which is located in the northern Mozambique. So, on the presentation, we will have a little bit of background of the context of cooperatives in Mozambique. The role of cooperatives in tackling inequalities. We will talk about the project, which will be the base for the examples, the case that I'm going to present. We will talk about the project impact, how we measure, the tools that we use. We will talk a little bit of the results and the conclusions and challenges. So for some people always ask me when I come to meetings, where is Mozambique? So I decided to describe a little bit what is Mozambique and the context in the cooperative movement in Mozambique. Mozambique is a southern country, Southern Africa country with a dramatic change in the last 2 decades after a turbulent past. In 1975, Mozambique got the independence. In 1977, unfortunately, there was a civil war. And this civil war had consequences that devastated the country, especially the rural areas. With about 4.7 million of refugees, people exiled all over the world. In 1990, we had a constitutional review. Also a dramatic change where we were socialist-oriented society, so we turned to the multi-party democracy. From central planned state to market economy state. So the effect of that was the enactment of market-oriented public policies and legislation and substantial donor support to the government. In 1992, There was a Rome Peace Agreement to end the hostilities. And in 1994, there was held the first multi-party elections. About the natural resources, Mozambique is rich in mineral resources, energy, and natural gas. Not fully exploited today. Yes, you can see now so many companies in prospections. We had coal also, gas projects now. The extractive sector had potential to the economic growth. Natural disasters, I'm also sure that most of you know that Mozambique is a very vulnerable country that suffers from different hazard disasters almost every year. So due to our geographic localization in the Indian Ocean. So in April 2019, we suffered a tropical cyclone called Idai and Kenneth that devastated 2 cities. Then we had this destruction of socio-economic infrastructures and agriculture production, internally displaced people in central and northern regions. The poverty level in Mozambique, the prevalent poverty in rural areas, inequalities affect almost 70% of the population, with a universe of 27.9 inhabitants for the data collected in 2017. So it is still part of the 10 poorest countries in the world. So in 2017, Mozambique Human Development Index was 0.4. So after all these situations, in 2009, a group of organizations worked and influenced the approval of new cooperative law. And the law defines cooperatives as the autonomous association of persons for free constituted with flexible capital composition and a democratic control, almost the same definitions that most of us we consider under International Cooperative Alliance. In terms of the agricultural sector, we have 36 million arable land, and only 15% is cultivated. We have the undeveloped markets, pervasive market failure, and ineffective public spending, low levels of productivity and rural incomes, of research and technology, and private investment. The current economic situation in Mozambique economy is slowing down since 2016. 3.3% of the GDP growth in 2018, being 7% a decade ago. The factors include the decline in economic activity, political and military instability, high public debt, and the international context, low commodity prices, and climate shocks. The role of cooperatives, as you know, is to promote decent work and social dialogue, poverty and inequality alleviation, and community sustainable development, promotion of economic and social development in Mozambique, stimulating rural economic and social development, very effective way for people to address their economic needs, reduction of inequalities via the empowerment and self-determination, social justice, strengthening and diversification of local economy. So we find so many roles, especially for the context of Mozambique, where we have most of the people living in rural areas and very, very, very vulnerable. So cooperative plays a very important role in their lives, because that's the only way they can very well bargain. Today, most of the cooperatives that we have in Mozambique, they are capable of selling, even getting good prices when they sell their products, commodities, due to cooperatives. Because before, when the cooperative movement was down after the independence in 1975, it was very, very, very difficult to negotiate the prices, because farmers were all scattered, and it was difficult to sit with someone, a buyer, or even the government, and talk about prices. And this, today, you can see that has improved a lot in Mozambique, and even government today, whenever it is to promote, negotiate things like price for different commodities, so the cooperatives are invited and they have a voice to say. And that is really thanks to the cooperative movement and the cooperatives. So the project we have been developing, it's a project which has been developed in the northern Mozambique, in the province of Nampula, for about 5,000 farmers who are cooperative members. So one of the reasons this project was started by the Mozambican Association for Promotion of Modern Cooperative was the insufficient composition and functioning of farmers' governing boards. There's a group of farmers that were not working well. They did not sit together and identify and find ways of solving their problems. We have until today the poor financial management system from those who sometimes afford, because also another problem is the access of financial means for development of different type of activities, mostly the agriculture one. So we found a lack of growth plans for medium and long term, and the making of investment decisions without conducting cost analysis and feasibility studies. This was a problem also with most of the groups that led to failure on the activities they have been developing. Most of the farmers, they practice subsistence farming with rudimentary production techniques, poor quality inputs, and less access to improved technologies. Another problem was we still have this problem, which is higher post-harvest losses. Another one is also high transportation costs, lack of rural credit system for agricultural production for small farmers. We find that the financial system in Mozambique does not really favor financial activities for small-scale farmers, because the small-scale farmers, they lack collaterals. So this is also a very huge inequality that the farmers have with regard to increasing their production areas, increasing productivity, and at the end, increase in their income. So we have also lack of improved warehouse, poor quality of products due to contamination and pests. Today, when we started with the cooperatives, we started accessing overseas markets, like some farmers were certified on fair trade, but the products are being returned because of quality. The most problem is the contamination with mycotoxins, mostly the aflatoxin. So this is also another problem. So we decided to find resources in order to support these farmers with these problems they have. So it was developed a project, the goal to contribute to increase the incomes through promotion of viable and sustainable cooperative business by strengthening different key business initiatives in the wider geographic areas in northern region of Mozambique. So one of the things that we looked for is, firstly, to create a favorable environment for cooperative business. Because, like I said before, when a cooperative designs a business plan, it takes to a bank or any financial institution, it is very difficult to access financial resources, even if the business plan is very well written. So we had to find ways in the project addresses these issues of creating a good environment with different stakeholders around the country, including government, in order to regard the cooperatives as really good drivers for development in the country. Another result that we wanted is to strengthen the managerial capacities and good governance within the co-op organizations. Like I said, the cooperatives, most of them are new cooperatives, and they still lack capacities. So there was a need of start actions in developing capacities of the cooperators within their organizations, observing mainly the cooperative principles. Because if the cooperative members, they all understand exactly the cooperative principles, then they will follow the rules and they will succeed. So we had also to improve production and productivity capacity through technologies, including agroecology, market information system, and market linkages. And the last but not the least, to increase the women participation in decision-making process and management of family incomes through men sensitization and women empowerment. But most of the cooperatives, we are working with a universe of almost 500 cooperatives, but most of these cooperatives on their boards, they had mainly men in the decision making in the board. So we had to do a work in order to make sure that this practice changes in order to have also women on board. So in terms of measuring the impact, it is really challenging to measure the impact. There are a lot of things that we do, but we are not capable of measuring it. We know that when we develop a project, there are changes that happen that are not directly linked to us. They are also with other stakeholders. But on our, from the Mozambican Association of Promotion of Modern Cooperatives, we use two tools. One of the tools is, it's a normal tool. We call the indicator performance tracking table, which is a table where we have all the information of the project and all the results that we expect and the changes we expect. So monthly, we record information, what is happening from the input we are given. So we collect it in a monthly basis, and we, at the end, it is summarized. Then we know our standing on every indicator that we have on the project.
Are you soon coming to the end, Natalie? No?
Okay,
Yeah.
so then we have also the community scorecard, which is also another tool to measure the performance of the cooperatives within the community where they are. And it's a participatory tool where every stakeholder can come together and measure exactly what is happening, what are the changes and the satisfaction of beneficiaries. So it is used mostly even for public services. So this is the tool I think I can later share to everyone how it happens. We have also a table and we have the indicators. And the indicators are measured. Well, there is a score of exactly what is happening. So the score will allow us to know that if we are doing well or if we are not doing well and what to improve. And all these tools, the information that we provide, it's collected and it's reported. We report. And these reports we also report to the government. And the government will also use it when they on their statistics to know exactly the changes, that the contribution of every stakeholder for the bigger country indicators. So here, like you see, today we have farmers, cooperators that have increased their production, because most of the cooperators, the farmers, they farm in small plots, and the income they get is very small because they farm in small plots. So one of the works of the project was to increase the area so that they can increase also their production and productivity. Productivity, well, we have problems of seeds, of course, because most of the farmers do not use improved seeds. We use local seeds. And that also affects the yield. We have, this is a part of, I've talked about the contamination of our, of the products, and this is an afla-safe product that reduces the contamination. Then we have also involving key stakeholders like government and others, improvement of the warehouses, cooperative infrastructures. Today, you can see a single farmer now some can afford to buy on a transport. Yeah. So the main challenges today, still today, is really the lack of appropriate cooperative tools to measure the impact of cooperative activities in the country. Another challenge within that is also delay in approval of important laws and regulations to promote cooperative business. We have a Cooperative Act, but the regulation is still not approved. But we keep always in lobbying so that we influence the government to approve the regulation. Then low prices of commodities still affect the income of cooperatives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natalino. It's what a really good example of what we can do in the cooperative movement. And I think we will come back in the debate of the problem to measure what we are doing. But from Mozambique, we will traveling or move over to Nepal. So Mina Pokhrel is very welcome up to the scene. You are the Deputy General Manager of the Nepal Agriculture Cooperative Central Federation Limited. You shall give us an example from your country, from Nepal. The floor is yours, Mina. Welcome.
Okay. Namaste. I am Mina from Nepal. Nepal is a very small country. It's located in between China and India. So I will go to my presentation. Yes, this is the topic that's tackling inequalities through the cooperative movements in Nepal. I will present the case study of my organization. So what is? Why it's not working? Okay. Before this, let me explain a bit about the cooperative movement of Nepal. And if you see the slide, that is the first cooperatives established in the, it's very far from me, that screen is very far from me. So it's in 1967, and then you see all the moment that recently is the big achievement for us, that establishment of the new Cooperatives Act is enacted in 2017, and it is very, very favor of all these small farmers, agriculture cooperatives, and landless people. Though there is some area to be improved still, and till now we are advocating for the same to amend some of the point. But anyway, this is the very good news for us. The new Cooperatives Act was enacted in 2017. And I will go in my organization that I am from Nepal Agriculture Cooperative Central Federation. This is the Central Federation of the Agriculture Cooperatives and small farmer agriculture, similar type of small farmer agriculture cooperatives. And it was established before 12 years. And with the main objectives, advocacy, that is policy advocacy for the betterment of the small farmer agriculture cooperatives and the landless cooperatives. And from here, the inequalities starts, that why we establish the NSCCFL. So we are doing policy advocacy for the betterment of the small farmers since the establishment of the cooperatives. Like that, as being a Central Federation of Agriculture Cooperatives, there is no wholesale market for these farmers to sell their agro product, and we have been advocating with government for the establishment of the wholesale market for the agriculture product since the establishment of the NSCCFL, but it hasn't been realized yet. Another is capacity development for the betterment of the small farmers. We have been advocating, this undergoes in the both objectives that recently government of Nepal allocated some fund for the establishment of the training center for the small farmers. So we do provide the various training based on their demand, especially in 4 sectors, that is cooperatives, agriculture, finance, and marketing. And network expansion, though we have our members spread all over the Nepal, that is we have 77 districts. Out of 77 districts, our cooperatives spread around 71 districts. That is why we call the network expansion. Every year we do expand and we do facilitate to establish same and similar type of cooperative nearby existing one in close collaboration with the government of Nepal. And increase production and productivities, being Agriculture Federation, we do provide various type of capacity building capacity building training for the increased production and productivity and value chain and market promotion. Recently, this is the first time in Nepal that with the initiation of the cooperatives that we have is where success fully established the market system within the Kathmandu Valley that where farmers can sell their agro product directly through that market. And we have 82% female member out of 1.05 million. So this is the mandatory for us that to get registered in the with the Department of Cooperative, there should be a 90% women member. That is why we make this. We are the Central Federation, so there is the apex organization of the Small Farmer Development Bank, and where this majority of the share is owned by small farmers, and we usually facilitate them to be bankable. That's why there is the there should be a 90% female member to get affiliated with the Small Farmer Development Bank. So this is the district coverage of NSCCFL. This is the map of Nepal. And let me come to Sustainable Development Goal and reduce inequalities. And I just want to show that what we are doing, effort of the NSCCFL towards supporting to achieve the SDG 10, reducing the inequalities. If you see the 10.1, that is reduce the income equalities, that I have already mentioned that 82% of the female, and that inclusion of the all ethnic group, that we have more than 19 ethnic group, and most of them are the member of our cooperatives, and that include the, inclusion of the ethnic group in the cooperative with equal access to finance. An opportunity for women entrepreneurs to start their own agro enterprise and provide training, capacity development of small farmers, especially in agriculture sector, and then agriculture-related technical assistance provided to small farmers through cooperatives. And this is the promote the universal social and economic and political inclusion, so inclusion of indigenous and marginalized caste people in the cooperative and social transformation enforced by the economic inclusion of this group people through the cooperative. So the people which is inside the picture, this is the people from the very rural area of Nepal, and they belongs to so-called disadvantaged group, so-called marginalized group, so-called this. So before it was very difficult to make them a member of the cooperatives, and now we are able to make them a member of our cooperatives, and they have easy access to finance also. And so I see if you see the target, 10.3, they ensure equal opportunity and indiscriminations, and during the Cooperative Act 2018, during the drafting of the Cooperative Act, we did the whole cooperative movement. We did a lobby with the government, and that is the board of referred to subsection that shall be the extent possible to ensure presence of at least 33% women in the board. But if you see the data from the local level, there are so many women representatives at local level and provincial level also, the very good number of the local representatives. And if it comes to central level or national level, the figure automatically goes down. See, this is the first fact, that participation of cooperative leader in the local governments, that is 64% versus 36%. And then proportion of women in the marginalized position in SFCLs, that's the majority of these staffs of the member, they're female. And this is within our network, proportion of the women-led cooperatives. This is 59% is the women-led cooperatives within our network. And this is the legal policy and program framework that agriculture development strategy, being the agriculture federation that we did so many times. We try to find out our space within the agriculture development strategy, and there is the one thing that the cooperative to be a key implementation organization, and based on this, recently our state went to federal structure, and they are developing procedure, manual structure, all these things based on this. So this is also the achievement for us. And this is the Cooperative Act that Government of Nepal, especially in provincial government or local government, may grant partial or the full in any type of tax to be imposed according to the prevailing law, or they make available to special financial facility or the technical support. This is due to the cooperative movement advocated in the favor of cooperative member in the revision of this Cooperatives Act 2017. And we have that policy lobby and advocacy activities carried out by NSCCFL, that subsidized loan that is USD 37,400, especially for the meat and meat production provided to small farmers through the respective cooperatives. This is the subsidized loan from Government of Nepal, and it will channelized by the cooperatives. Preparation of the draft policy brief that is in agribusiness promotion law for the improvement of this bill, to advocate for the pro and landless people, smallholder and small producer, and advocate for the waiving out of the loan taken by smallholder farmers that during the Maoist conflict in Nepal. So now we have a separate advocacy and proposal writing unit we call OPPO with NSCCFL, and roll out the farmers advocacy consultation tool methodology for policy lobby and proposal preparations. Advocacy with the government and other relevant stakeholders for the celebration of the International Years of Family Farming. And I think we all know that recently FAO declared the International Year of Family Farming, and +10, and NSCCFL is the secretariat for the same. And this is the enhanced representation of developing country in the financial institution. Now we are working with the International Fund for Agriculture Development, especially for the seed, to promote the local seed in the western part of the Nepal, and with the linkage of Asian Development Bank and World Bank for the soft loan that is from the Small Farmer Development Bank. And this is the development bank, and this is the majority of the share is owned by small farmer agriculture cooperatives, and they will lend wholesale lending to the cooperative, and in turn this loan will go to individual member. And tools for measuring the impact, that advocacy and proposal preparation unit, we call FACT unit, that is this is the establishment of separate advocacy and proposal writing unit that we have within our organization, and we use this methodology tools of this use to advocate for the betterment of the farmers. And this is tools to measure the impact. Another tools is the monitoring and the evaluation database system, that we have database systems, and since the establishment of the NSCCFL, we started to keep the database of our member organizations and individual member. Till now, we have a database of more than 500 cooperatives, and based on this database, we design the projects and programs. And another is the cooperative performance assessment tools designed by FAO, and this is there are 109 questions that is in each of the section, that is relevancy, effectiveness, financial viability, motivation, human and material governance, and external environment. Until now, we have more than 300. We use these tools within the more than 300 cooperatives member. And this is the organization assessment tool. This is the financial health checkup. So we can see the accounting and the financial sustainability of this cooperative is very poor. And then on the base of this, we do provide the capacity building and other training. Okay, this much for now. And thank you very much.